Yeah, Rocket Flash, do you mind maybe do the yeah, like page sharing too?
Yeah, yeah. Just tell me when to cast it or
Yeah,
now.
I think we're ready. Like from
Okay,
here, so like maybe I can open up a space to chat.
I will open up here.
Hi everyone. So yeah, welcome to the space here. We have the Otherside Wiki workshop number 3. Yeah, unlock the value of a Koda IP. And we have the guest here today, Directive Creator, and also the co-host, Bucket Flash and Frosty. So today we'll be yeah, opening up the Twitter space as well as the stream from YouTube. So if everyone wants to get to see the slides here, you can yeah, click the link on the yeah, YouTube, and you get to see the things that we're presenting. So we're seeing Shane is also here too. So would yeah, add him as a speaker as well. But yeah, this is the two platforms we'll be streaming, and at the end of uh, the the Twitch, I mean the streams too, we would have a quiz, so everyone can participate and get a chance to win some 8 point. So yeah, like Rocket Flash want to like make a quick intro here too.
Yeah, GM, everyone. It's good to see you. We changed the format up a little bit, and so we appreciate all of you on Twitter Spaces. And if you're enjoying the stream, we actually are on StreamYard. So if you want to hit the link and kind of get a more deep dive about what we're talking about, we have a lot of awesome slides to share. Otherwise, enjoy the show. We'll be streaming to Twitter Spaces and this YouTube link as well. And yeah, thank you, Harry, and excited to meet our guest stars for today.
We have Pairspace here as well. Pairspace have a sponsor for yeah, our session today, and we have yeah, Directive Creators also will be sponsoring the Goose Gangs here too. Many familiar faces here: Meta Passions, Robbins, and yeah, like Jensen, like who's also the past winner, like for the 8 points from our quiz. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. And yeah, like this is the session number 3, the mission to uncover other side secrets. And today we're going to talk about Coda IP. So yeah, like we have DC, Directive Creators here. Yeah, DC, do you want to like do a quick intro about yourself?
Sure, yeah, why not? I'm DC, Directive Creator, fully doxed as well. I'm a creative director at Socialer, company here in Las Vegas, and I am also a founder at Grills Gang. And basically, I've been just experimenting a lot, experimenting with NFTs, experimenting with IP, experimenting with the metaverse, and creating and building things, and also using the amazing tools and different things that are coming out from everybody. Like there's so many things out there. So I kind of enjoy that we're going to talk about that today, because yeah, that like I think a lot of people don't really realize all the different pieces that are out there and how many different opportunities and how many different things you can do with your NFTs, with your IP, but also just participating and having fun with that IP, and also just taking a look at what other people created. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, for me, I really enjoys yeah, like your work in the MML. Like you're the first like ever creators like to really showcase how it's done like for your own IP. So later in this like have a slide, we will showcase that from day one learning to like day 14, 17, like how you take from the journey from really like from knowing nothing, right, to master those skill sets. We look forward to it. And yeah, like Walkie Flash, you want to share some text here too, like yeah, like
Yeah, I just want to add on Directive Creator. You're in Vegas, so am I. Let's meet up. Let's go. But besides that, I think it's really awesome to have you on today. I think it's awesome that we're sharing like ways people can build on their IP, and I think in this space, if you think about how many people are building on their IP, it's in the hundreds. And I think like one of our goals is to get that number into the thousands. And there's so many people in Web3. There's so many IPs out there, and there's just so many opportunities. And I think just like one of our goals is to really inspire a lot of you and, show how others are doing it in the space. And honestly, it just gets me so excited because I want to build my own IP as well. And I think there's so many great takeaways. And yeah, I hope a lot of you, uh, get something out of the lesson from today.
Yeah, I also want to give a shout out to Frosty. Like Frosty has been building Otherside Wiki for a very long time, and yeah, like he's been shipping a lot of great features. And one of the features I love the most recently is with heavy metal 8-point spending. So every single day I take a snapshot to see the improvement of the 8-point spending, and yeah, get wider audience to know yeah, like how we doing in the gaming space from the heavy metal. And yeah, like this is the third session that we're doing with Other Space. So like make sure you hit that follow button for Frosty, as well as yeah, Otherside Wiki. And there's tons of insightful content in Discord. And we love to continue the sessions from here. Frosty, do you want to maybe say hello?
Yeah, sure. Short hello from my side. I'm Frosties, founder of Otherside Wiki. I'm located in Austria. Yeah, I'm actually also fully doxed. If you dig around on the website, you can see it. And yeah, looking forward for the space.
Awesome. Let's like continue from here. So yeah, like today we're going to talk about Shane's Koda journey. Yeah, Shane's journey is super inspiring. He's the first ever person to build a Koda IP, and yeah, like we just share like his bag of death to wreck Carolina, like Reapers Peppers. We can see him plant the seed like in as early as like kind of May 19, and then we witnessed the whole journey all the way till yeah, September, right, 2022, where he got to sell the Koda Honey, and it was sold out. And many of the community members, including Lobel, really have like the time, like in terms of yeah, taking it. And today, like he actually be opening his store, and like everyone can be ordered same Koda Honey again. So yeah, like that's something that we're going to explore the journey, and we love to have Shane like to share his take too.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It has been a kind of sharing my wisdom, being a older person on the panel here.
Awesome. Yeah, let's move on. So yeah, like we also have DC who will be sharing about like his journey on building the interoperable IP for Grills game. Yeah, Metaverse is like one of the destinations for him, and we also see like the Grills game IP in different places, like from physical to digital. So that's something that we're gonna cover too. Yeah, so like recap from the last sessions, Koda trade analysis, Otherside IP, creator spotlights, and quizzes. It's going to be our today's workshop agenda. Walker Flash, do you want to cover the slide on session 2 recap?
Yeah, so for everyone that missed last time, and for those that kind of forgot what we did, we went over ApeCoin analysis, and we kind of covered all the use cases that there are. For example, in heavy metals, how much spending has there been in other kinds of use cases that are kind of excelling ApeCoin. And also we did a mini spotlight for Directive Creator. I know we have him on today, but we did a mini spotlight last time, kind of doing like a slight vision into kind of what he's working on. And you can see here in the image, we have how he featured his IP on a hotel in Las Vegas, which is really awesome. That's a really great spot right there. And then also what he's building in the metaverse. And then for the lore recap, last time we introduced you guys into our Mega Koda. And so his backstory is how he was very powerful from the beginning. And so he had so much power that he had to split his personality into two. And so Rampagor, sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, Harry. Rampagor is kind of like his dark persona, and Ramo is his lighter side. And so we kind of covered about, how those two characters are personally developing. And we actually got to unlock this mystery fire, which has a lot of uses. Ramo uses the fire to protect himself, but we as the tastemakers actually use the fire to cook delicious meals. And so that's kind of what happened last time, to recap you all.
Yeah, we are using the heavy metal IP as we speak here. The heavy metals and evolution to a heavy hot pot, and we see each of the heavy metal here, right, has a unique journey, and they all will get hungry and also need to eat it. So that's the story. Then next is like the second workshops would be covering Koda IP. So this is collaborative missions where we're going to unlock the secrets, and we're going to find the puzzles and unlock them together to reach the final destination. Last workshop, kudos to MetaPassion, Quad 77, and China 2027. They are the winners for the quizzes, and all of them got $50 worth of ApeCoin sponsored by Paris. It was super fun, like to have this second sessions with everyone participating in the quizzes. MetaPassion's been killing it. Like he's always in the leaderboard, and let's see today if it's anyone going to beat him and take the win from here.
Yeah, I just want to jump in. I think, MetaPassion winning all these quizzes is like a great example of how, we all have the same opportunity to be able to take the prize away, and, just paying attention to key bits of information. And good luck to everyone at the end of the session.
Let's go. And then we also have like Quad 77, MetaPassions, and Jensen's, and the last workshop. Have a share the takeaway. Like kudos to them too. They produce the best takeaway in this period of time. So all of them will also get some ApeCoin rewards from here too.
Yeah, I just want to add on, if any of you guys are looking for like easy opportunity to get some extra ApeCoin, all you have to do is leave a review. And so that's kind of what these guys did here. And so they're getting the prize. And so if anyone else is looking to take the throne, be sure to kind of leave your takeaway at the end of the session.
And that's the ApeCoin for the pizza dinners. That's like Quad 77 for MetaPassion. Today, so we actually have updated reports from DC. DC, do you want to talk more about the Grills gains and also about the reports too?
Sure, yeah. So I figured since we're jumping on the spaces, it wouldn't hurt to give out some Girls Gang NFTs as well. So I'm a founder of Girls Gang together with Stewie BHS. Back in 2021, we created Girls Gang, and we created it as a supportive sidekick, as a way to connect between all these different artists, help out these tools that are being created. So I'm actually doing a lot of stuff on the back end, behind the scenes, like helping with smart contracts, helping with creating new tools. There's amazing tools that we use within Grills that everybody can benefit from. Even if you do not have any Grills, you can participate and just be a part of it. When it comes to those reviews, the top 3 reviews will also get a Grills Gang NFT, as long as you also somehow talk about Grills Gang and like share your takeaways, like share what you think. And that's, I think, a good thing in general in this space. There's just a lot more room here for just constructive feedback and being able to share what you'd like to see and what you'd like to build. And that's what I've been trying to support. And that's why you see me active in M Squared and MML, because I think it's super important that we all build and create stuff together. And I know that is an easy thing to say, but there's so much more opportunities out there that are just untouched. And yeah, so basically that's it. 3 Girls Gang NFTs for the reviews, and I definitely recommend, even if you don't have a Girls Gang NFT, to come out, check out the Discord, check out MML, and hope to have you part of the community.
Yeah, it's awesome to have you. And like from like what we have seen is like Goose Game is like always leading the way. When we played the Pixels game, we were super surprised that wow, where those like big T's are coming from. Everything in the Born Hungry store. That's Goose Game, and that's like first time I figured out. It's so improbable like for the IP to be in different places, including Pixels latest game too.
Yeah, we like to kind of try to be everywhere. But again, it's all in the name of like experimenting and trying things. So we were in Pixels pretty early on. So it was great to see Tastemakers in there as well. And then you have World Wide Web as well. There's all these different spaces where we like to try to like play around and test around. And the cool part is that it has a double benefit, because one, it's great to just test and see what works. But the other cool part is, with your NFT, you're now able to do any of them, and you can decide whatever you like to play. So maybe someone really likes to go farming in Pixels, and they can go do that. But for other people, they much rather play the different games in World Wide Web. And then it's just cool that you can take your NFT along completely different metaverses, but still have your NFT. And in the case for World Wide Web and Pixels, they are literally pixels. So there's a pixel variation of your grills that enters in there. And then of course, grills is a 3D avatar. So that makes it easy to eventually translate into MML as well. So that's definitely something that is also coming. But then there's also more. There's also 2D grills. There's also all these different variations, different models, different types that you would need. And the goal is basically that everybody gets to do what they like to do. So if you like to do quests on Twitter and like to earn your way into grills, then you can go do that. And if you like to participate in different games, you can do that. And I think that's the cool part of NFTs, that they can be very, very dynamic, and you can participate within different communities as well. And that's another big thing, is that you can take grills, and there's partnerships, there's upcoming partnerships, there's where you can use your grills within a completely different community, and any cool stuff that they do and cool stuff that they create, you can use your grills there too, which is really, really nice. So that's the big thing, is basically having it as a supportive sidekick, having it alongside. We do not have to compete with other projects or other, like, it doesn't have to be like, hey, like, what is the floor price and things like that. It's more about, can you use it to participate? And I think that's, in the case of grills, I think that's a really big use case. And I think that's going to, like, we're going to talk about Kodas and stuff like that as well. I think that counts for those as well, and the Bored Apes and things like that. The fact that you can kind of cross over into all these different spaces, I think that is something that is still very underappreciated for a lot of NFTs in the space.
Yeah, I think it's also setting examples for many of the brands here too. Like we have like Mutants, like beer, right? Give a shout out to them, like for expanding the IP in the beer space. And then we have Jensen's working with the Primates, Mega Force too. We do see many of the PFPs and also like collections here have a space like for growth, like other than like Sandbox or Pixels. So we have Otherside, right? That's coming very soon. And so we already seen a teaser, right, recently from Gaga and Figgy, right? They're taking a piss in the washroom, and we can see the bathroom wall too. No more Zoom, right? Let's cut to the clubhouse. So yeah, like we look forward to seeing those development in MML. Second, like we have the top 3 quizzes, scores. They will get 50 8 point each as well. This is sponsored by Perispace. Perispace is just launched Perispace 2.0. So yeah, like really thankful for them to support many of the regional clubs activities, and giving a big shout out to them as well.
I just wanted to add one more thing onto kind of what Directive was saying, and I think it's so awesome what you're doing to set up for Grills Gang. I like the space, I see the space in the future being interoperable, and it doesn't matter what chain you're on, it doesn't matter what PFP you hold. I think at the end of the day, all these things are going to be, going wherever you want to go. And so your digital identity is like just like your in real life identity, it goes with you anywhere you go. And I thought it was hilarious when I'm building burgers and like a Grills Gang PFP walks by me, because it's just so unique and different than every other PFP. And I think that's awesome, like what you've set up and what you're trying to set up going forward as the space expands. And yeah, I just want to add that I think that's so awesome. And in the future, you'll see all PFPs going everywhere. So I think that's like a great foreshadowing of what the future is going to be for the space.
Awesome. Moving on. Yeah, like this is like a blueprint that we're going to discover more, and yeah, we have discovered the mystery, like heavy hot pots, and then from here we're going to discover more secrets. So yeah, next we're moving to the next sections on the Koda traits. So like when it comes to Koda, like in the Otherside Wiki, we can use the navigation tab to identify if the Koda is a mega, has clothing, or has weapons. And generally, when we select Kodas, we want to pick the ones that has the traits that would be complementary to our storytelling and also commercialization. So for Mega Koda, their floor price is at 130 ETH or more. And it's good for a few things. Number one is good for lore and character. It can be positioned as the most powerful badass characters ever, like at the final stage. So it gets people to anticipate the fights at the final battles. Because in the other side, Legend of the Mara, we anticipate the Mega Koda will also be more powerful too. In games too. So we mentioned about the Pixels games, the other side games. There will be mini games that we can apply the Koda IP. So this could be the game characters as a representative of the final boss too. And then it has just have strong adaptability, meaning that anything that related to the BAYC community that we have done for fashion, clothing, like beverages, and many of the other categories in sports, we also can apply that too, given its value and its adaptability. Second is clothing. Koda with clothing is much more suitable for merch. So we have fashions, like food and drinks with a clothing Koda that is going to be more suitable. So for example, for this one is the pinky, like Koda. I think it's going to be very suitable for Pink Dao and associated like female-driven fashion as well. And finally, we have the weapons category, and we'll share like Painter Crypto, like how he utilized a very powerful Koda and to like do evolutions like from here. Storytelling and games are also very native to Koda, given Koda is a digital native like for gaming.
I just wanted to add before we go to the next slide, I saw we have a lot of people in the space, and if you're enjoying this and if maybe you're more of a visual learner, just giving a reminder, we pinned a YouTube link and we're actually sharing some slides we created for the presentation. So if you're looking for more of a visual, go ahead and join us on the stream here.
Awesome. Here, let's begin the Koda IP use case with the Bee House journey. We went to Shane's cap timeline and then all the way back to last year, and it really started with just an idea. So at that time, I think it's like during March or February, and he had an idea. What if he could apply his yellow Koda to expand his hunting business? And then that's like in May, like he's got the back of death. That's 5 red Coalina Reapers peppers in a 10-gallons grow bag. Like maybe like Rocket Fosh, you can maybe pin one of his like a tweet here as well. Back into the journey. Like he started when it's like March. So we have like a Twitter space here. So it's like we can use like pin tweets to like go over some of the journey he started.
I guess I could introduce. Just great about helping me showcase what I'm doing. But honestly, I've so my quick background, not to take up the whole time, but I have been a nursery owner for 30 years. So for the past 30 years, my father and brother and I have run a nursery. We've grown plants. So I've always been on the botanical side, and I grow trees and shrubs and help people just make their yard more beautiful. So I have a very relaxing, I shouldn't say relaxing, because our business has grown from just us 3 to 50 employees. So the nursery got pretty large, but as we grew, I realized that in a business, you really can't take any money out. You just keep putting it in. So I always found myself on side projects doing things. And one of the things that I did early was domain names. So a lot of you know exactly what a domain name is. You type it in the computer. But I was worried that the nursery was going to lose business to domain names. So I started buying up plant names and botanical names and botany.com and all the hobbies that I like. We bought runner.com. And I bought all these digital assets that taught me that the internet was going to be the future, that people were buying my domain names because they were starting companies. And what I found out is something that I think is one of the most important lessons we'll all learn here is that when you build a brand, anybody can own a domain name, anybody can own an NFT, but there's only so many people that can build a business. And that's where a lot of people get stuck in this space is there are 10,000 apes and there's millions of NFTs, but it's very difficult to build a brand around that IP. You're often needing others to help you do that. There's just some people that have that skill that can help you take that and build something. And the real work is on the other side, is building the business. So I think that's where people, and I learned that with domains, because everybody has purchased a domain name and said, I'm going to do X. I'm going to buy this domain and I'm going to build this. But most people don't. Most people don't. And you'd be surprised how much people spend and still don't do anything. They'll spend $20,000 on a domain and just let it sit there. I have domains that people have spent $20,000 and it's never even changed the header. There's nothing on it because they had a dream. And so I think that's really important, that IP is only as good as the business behind it. So you need to either build or seek out that partner that's going to help you develop it, because again, there's lots of apes, but there's only so many people building it. So that's where I came out. And on the side, I was always building. That's what I do. I build things. I love to build little companies. I've sold websites. I've sold hundreds of websites. I've sold a blog. I sold a blog to Lionsgate Films for a lot of money. We've just formed little companies here and there. And that's just what I love to do. I don't play video games. I haven't really ever played video games. My video game has been building little things and then trying to sell them. I keep score with money. That's the difference. I'm not driven by money. It's really literally just a way to count. I'd rather have a beautiful tree in my yard than a beautiful car. That's just how I operate. But it is important to build and work. And that's where the honey came around. I was addicted to honey. I literally traveled the world visiting apiaries, trying to taste different honey. It's just a hobby I had. I loved honey, and every different plant tastes differently. So if I go to Africa and I see the acacia trees, it was a different kind of honey, whereas I'd go to Greece or I'd go to Hawaii. And I really enjoyed that. It was a great trip. It was a great way to taste honey. And I was kind of like a crack addict, but in order to get more crack, I decided I better start keeping some bees. So at the nursery, we started keeping bees. And I realized as a busy person, to be a keeper of bees, you have to put forth a lot of time. It's like building a business. You can't just come and go. You have to stick with it. So I worked with other beekeepers and said, I see you have a lot of honey, and I found out they really, for the most part, don't like selling honey. They love the beekeeping, and they only sell the honey as a means of raising money to keep their hobby going. They love honey. They love having it at their house. But the extra honey going to the farmer's market or going to the local markets and bottling it is not really necessarily the part they enjoyed. Me being a brand builder and me being a person that loves to build, I bought the name beehouse.com, which I thought was a great name, a great domain name, because I know that had to be the front facing. And then I went to all the local beekeepers and beekeepers around the nation and said, I will buy your bulk honey in 50-gallon buckets. So now I buy thousands and thousands of gallons of honey, but I need a way to sell them. And there's a lot of honey in this world. In everything you do, you're going to find there's lots of competitors, and they offer the same product. And it may not be better. You always try and pretend that yours is better, but in many cases, you're talking things that are very similar. So that's where IP, that's where branding, that's where marketing comes in. And I knew that I needed a character to help me sell this honey, whether I created it myself, whether I came up with an artist, whether I had a graphic designer. I needed someone to help me make my honey stand out. The domain name to me was very important. Bee House is a great name. That's a good first start. And then Bored Apes came around, and I thought those look fun. When I bought Bored Apes, it was merely, I really wasn't thinking NFTs is the marketplace it is now. I looked at it and said, I can buy for $1,000 a monkey picture that I can brand onto honey. And I bought a bunch of them because I thought, well, $1,000 is not too bad. If I paid an artist, it cost me $500 to $600. And needless to say, that was very fortunate because it was really just to buy some free art that I could use. And that's all I ever expected it to be, is to hang on my wall or to put on the honey. And it turned out I bought 3 of them and then another one, and I sold those for $1 million altogether at near peak. And I sold my mutants at near peak and kept what you see today. So I was very fortunate in the fact that I got lucky on that, sold it at the peak, and made quite a bit of money. And that let me have a little bit more fun. So the first thing I did is, actually before Koda, I took the ape that you see here, and I was working with a beekeeper, and she said, Shane, I have something really unusual. I have a hive that has pure water-like honey. It's the sweetest honey I have. There's no color to it, and we call it white honey. It's something that we just don't see very often here in honey. It's pretty cool. And so I took a look at it and I said, I have a white ape. You've got some white honey. I'm going to brand this. I'm going to give out, and this is in 2021. I put 26 bottles of honey. I made an NFT with my favorite artist, which is Joe Ruiz. And Joe Ruiz is someone that I had worked with for the past decade, just drawing out my marketing characters and art. He's done the art for me. And we decided to put an ape on this special honey. We dipped it like Maker's Mark with yellow wax, and then I stamped 26 letters on it. And I said, you get a bottle of honey, and you get this NFT from Joe Ruiz for $300. $300 for a bottle of honey. It sold out immediately. And I knew that branding and NFTs and all this was a business model. So I had proven it there. And I used that money to start my honey company. So that was really my IPO, was selling an NFT and some limited bottles of honey. And I used that money to buy all the rest of my honey to get going. I also used that idea, and we started an NFT project called Trippies. A lot of people know and don't know that I was one of the co-founders of Trippies, which we had the artist from Bulls on the Block, Rui Duarte, and Joe Ruiz, and together they made, at the time, was the first multi-character NFT. We had 8 different characters. We sold out in a couple days. So again, I've been on the founder side of an NFT. We did $3 million in mint. So I was very successful there as well. And then Kodas came around. And I didn't get a Koda with my land. I got 5 pieces of land, but not a Koda on there. So I had to shop. So I shopped through the Kodas, and lo and behold, I see a Koda that looks just like a bee. And I said, there's a bee. I have a honey company. He looked like he was melting. To me, it looked like he was dripping honey or getting too hot. And I thought, honey, hot, drip. So I named them Drip the Koda, and then I decided I would make hot honey. I didn't know if there was hot honey exist. I look, and actually Mike's was a very popular brand, but I decided that I grow peppers at the nursery. I know Carolina Reaper is a really tasty one if you do it correctly. So I spent about 2 or 3 months trying to perfect this formula. I grew the peppers outside my house because you need to keep the assets close if you want to keep working with them. So I did that bag of death. I put 5 plants. I still have that same bag. I still get all my peppers off that same bag. I get about 600, 700 peppers off that one bag. I keep a grow light in the house during the winter and grow. I keep in the summer out on the back porch. And that's enough to do thousands of pounds of Koda hot honey. So I took that honey, and we've been working with that ever since.
That's awesome, Shane. I'm going to cut you off for a second because we are presenting a slide here. So maybe we can go through a slide too. So maybe you can share the background story behind the slide, right? For example, like the timeline here it's like July, right, 18, right? So like how you grow, right? That the reapers typically want to know more about like what's the cycle, right? It's a seasonal, or is it anytime you can grow and get it? So we are in the have this slide here. Maybe you can share more like how this kind of worked, right, in terms of the reapers like maturity process.
Yeah, so that's the hardest part when you're growing is there is a season. So pepper plants really, and I'm in central Illinois, but in general, we don't really produce peppers until about right now, end of July, August. And then that season goes all the way until October. So you need to harvest them. And then the other problem with producing food is you have fresh peppers and you have dried peppers. And the heat is essentially the same, but the difference in taste between a fresh pepper and a dried pepper is a little different. And at the same time, water and honey are enemies. You don't want any water in your honey because it can mold inside honey. So putting a fresh pepper that has a lot of water in it, you have to be very careful that it doesn't ruin the honey or mold later on. So there's this balance of these peppers. And the same with honey. Honey is produced by bees, and you only can take it so many times. So most of the time, depending on the crop, they'll take it in the fall or in the spring. So you just have to work with different apiaries around. I work with different apiaries around the country, and they get it to me on certain crops. So for instance, I just ordered from a place. I'm getting blackberry honey. So I have 200 pounds of blackberry honey coming next week because the blackberries season and the flowers just ended. And it's really interesting. These are all things I've learned. Everything I'm talking about, I've learned. It's not, I didn't go to class. I didn't go to college. So timing peppers and timing honeys and working with beekeepers and doing packaging. I'll tell this story as well. I didn't know shit about packaging honey or bottling. I grow plants. I never put anything in a bottle. And I put it out there, and I met another Bored Ape named Richard Ryan. And Richard Ryan founded Black Rifle Coffee, $1 billion company. And he was in charge of marketing. And he talked to me, and he said, I love the honey. We need to maybe get a better label, because I had labels that were 3-part labels. I had to put 3 different labels. He said, you should put one label so it sticks and goes quicker and is cheaper. And then your bottle is beautiful, but it's kind of a messy bottle, and it's also more expensive. Let me help you find a bottle that's beautiful, cheaper, and easier for your consumer to use. So a Bored Ape that I didn't know and I would not have met unless I had a Bored Ape has literally helped me perfect my company and make more money. And that's just one story that I could tell you of hundreds of people with other PFPs or other communities I've been part of. I haven't played video games with them. I haven't done anything with that, but I met other business people, and behind the scenes, they've really made me a better business person and person.
Yeah, this is such a great story. And when last time I visited to the website, it's also out. So I was like, how can I order again? Like, why is like also out? Then this explains the seasonality involved, right? So there's also like you're only doing like 100 bottles like this time too, right? So do you anticipate maybe like scaling this operation so you can maybe like bring the honey to more Koda and like apes holders and the wider audience, and how do you plan to scale the business?
Yeah, that's the question I get asked most often. So I retired from the nursery in December. So I retired from work after 30 years. So I retired at 53. So I don't have a job. I've been working 80 hours a week, 60 hours a week at the nursery, and now I take that off. And so everybody said, well, you're definitely going to build the honey company. And I've had several offers to buy it, but part of every purchase was that I stay on and run the company. And I think to myself, is that what I want to do full-time, honey? And at this point in time, I don't feel it's something that I want to do full-time. I have something else I want to build. I have another company that I'm thinking of doing. But as far as the honey, I do want to expand it. I only did about 3,000 bottles last year. I think I can do 10,000 bottles and still keep it part-time. But the reason, I made it seem like we were sold out of honey, but I did sell quite a bit of honey. But one of the main reasons that I did close the business, I will be honest and say this in front of this spaces, is I took my family for 6 weeks to Leadville, Colorado, the highest city in the country, and I hiked and climbed the mountains for 6 weeks, and I wasn't able to fulfill any honey. And so I felt it was really important. After 30 years of working, it's something I wanted to do. I wanted to climb all the top highest 14,000 feet mountains. So I climbed Rainier, I climbed Mount Elbert, I climbed all the top 5 mountains. I hiked for 6 weeks, spent time with my family. So the honey business had to suffer a little bit, but it was really important to me mentally. It was a little thing I needed to do. I'm back at it. I've got the honey restocked. I will expand on it and expand on this IP and this journey, but it was a little break, and thus the business was kind of closed. When you're a one-man show and you're in the mountains, it's hard to send honey.
That is such a great story, and I think I really love the quote that you mentioned, like in September 3rd. Yeah, it's all started with the purchase of a monkey picture. Now I'm delivering honey based on my Koda IP using a truck purchase with a sale on 1/8. You can do anything with luck, creativity, opportunity, and a shit ton of hard work. Yeah, boy, yeah, it's a handle here. So yeah, that's a really inspiring story because many people have read that and see, wow, like if Shane, who has literally like zero skill sets or like learn by doing, can do it with his Koda, and I can do it too, right? I think that's the takeaway.
I literally sold my ape and bought that. I ordered that Bronco. It took me a year to get it, but because of my ape, I was able to retire. Selling those 3 apes, I was able to retire early. I was able to buy a car in cash. I was able to take that Bronco and take it in the mountains and drive places that I couldn't have gotten otherwise. I did work hard. I did have some vision. I had some, I know the importance of digital assets, a lot of luck, all of that combined. But Bored Ape changed my life. I mean, early on, from day one, I thanked the guys at Bored Ape Yacht Club. It just was their hard work helped me become more successful. And so it's just a big circle. And I will keep this ape. People say, oh, you should sell the ape. You missed out on a lot of money. I didn't miss out on anything. I haven't missed out on anything. I've gotten all the rewards from this that I can, and I'll continue to show that. I'm very proud of that. I've made as much money as I need to make. Of course, I want to make more, but the Bored Ape Yacht Club has given a lot of people life-changing things. It doesn't mean I'm any better than anybody. There's lots of opportunity elsewhere in other things, but I'm certainly grateful and proud of it.
Yeah, one more question I have before maybe moving to the stage for questions. Like, how would you advise someone who's starting with the Koda, who's holding a Koda, like who's a holder, right? And what are the ways that you want to maybe keep them advice as to start, like have food and drinks or like have for a beverage business? What would be some advice you would give to them?
The great thing about Kodas are the personality. Like when you're looking for a character to represent your company, your item, or your product, you want it to have personality, and you also want to enjoy personally your personality, but what others will enjoy. And one of the things I've told my employees and my business partners is it's really not about you. It's about your customers. What you like is not that important. You know, I used to use the example. We used to have some pots at the nursery that were horribly ugly. They had aliens on them. And my dad said, "Why are you bringing this shit out here? Like, those are ugly." I said, "Dad, we sold 500 of them. It's not about what we like." So when you're looking for like a Koda, get something that's cute that you think will sell well or represent your brand, and choose that first. The other thing is reaching out and talking to other people. Like, again, if you want to build a brand, you have to build a brand, and it's a lot of work. It's a business. Making t-shirts, nothing against the people they're doing. That's the easiest road. Anybody can print a t-shirt, but not everybody can sell a t-shirt. So with your IP, I would say look for relationships, look for people that you think your Koda could help or would work well with their brand, and try and strike out a deal, because you're giving them free art. You're maybe giving them a free business idea, and that's how you're going to probably get it out there. You really have to do work, whether you're building the brand yourself or you're giving another brand the business idea that you can help them build.
Walker Flash, do you want to share some questions on the stage on the live here as well? I saw you have the pictures up that a family loves it. So Walker Flash, maybe you can cover the slides here.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. I could source some of the questions. Yeah, a lot of people like you know, the branding and the logoing, and I think that's, like you were saying, really. Oh, oops, I wasn't streaming on Spaces. A lot of people like the you know, the branding and the logoing, and I think that's so funny that how you mentioned your dad is like, wow, these things are ugly. And sometimes when I'm looking at the Kodas, I think the same thing, but it's not about what you like you said, and you know, you built a connection with an audience, and you built your brand based on, you know, this melting Koda, and it's very complimentary. And I think, you know, that's a big takeaway. And also, I not to dox you, but I mean, you did post this on Twitter, so I'm sure you're fine with it, but I love your license plate. And so he has a BAYC license plate, and it's black, and I don't think many people have that, and I would say that's definitely a rare license plate for those license plate collectors out there. And yeah, you know, I really love your story. I think, like, it's definitely a journey, and it's like a perfect example of the hero's journey. You know, you start out and you don't know that this opportunity is going to come, and it's up to the hero to kind of take that chance and go on that journey. And it really sounds like that's what you did with your Koda IP. And so you know, you took it as you went, and you know, it's very successful. And I think it's really heartwarming story overall, how you're able to take something that you like to do, and is very complimentary as you entered to Web3.
That does remind me, if you know, you can alter a little bit your piece. So for instance, on a lot of the Bored Apes, people didn't like the smoking part, and I didn't take it out of what I call the kernel, my piece here, but the other piece I had the kind of little joint in it, and it was my IP. It was my face. It was my PFP. It was a blue ape wearing a farmer shirt and wearing a black hat. And he just was me. I called him Sean. You know, my name's Shane, but I called him Sean just jokingly because he's my alternate personality.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And he was going to be, he was my piece. But then Humble came. HUMBL, the company, really wanted him. And they wanted him because I had Joe Ruiz draw that ape up and took the cigarette out and put a piece of straw in his mouth, because I really didn't want the cigarette in there, and I didn't want to steal anybody else's IP in case they had an ape that was very similar. So I put a piece of grass like coming out of his mouth, and I put him with running shoes on, because I'm a big runner. I run 30-something. Looked at him and said, "This guy is a perfect spokesman. We have a delivery service, and he's got running shoes on, and this is just the perfect person." I didn't want to sell it, but there is a point when money comes and you're willing to, I don't want to say sell your child, but it was almost like selling a child. They really had to pump up the money and give me enough to make me give up my favorite piece.
I love that angle. So you
Mark-
took your IP and you kind of made it more consumer friendly, and so it was still the same
100%.
ape. I think another great example, if you guys look at Harry's ape, there's no apes in the collection that have a Forge logo on their chest and wearing an Adidas tracksuit. And yeah, I think like what you mentioned, not a lot of people realize that it's your ape. And like on the live stream here, just for fun, I threw a monocle on my cat because I feel like, I don't know, why not? If you own the IP, why not, add on to it like you did? And it's really interesting that you got interest from a company and, you really fit kind of like what their brand line was.
Yeah, they took him and they changed his name to Blue, and they put him on billboards and hung him off buildings, and I was proud of him. It was like my son had made it to the big world. But yeah, you do, it's your ape. The only thing I will say is, when you're going to do a derivative, I do think you need to own the original IP, and then you have to be careful that you're not, there's an ape that is like mine, but I think he's cream color, but it doesn't have the pipe. And we were joking last night. I was like, "Do you have my ape?" And he's like, "No, my ape's a little different." So you have to be careful that you don't change yours to be somebody else's, in my opinion. So you have to be a little bit careful with that, but you should have some fun and make it consumer friendly and take your IP and use it.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. When I was looking at my cool cat, there's actually 2 other cool cats that have a purple background and armor, but the only difference is like the facial expressions. And I think what you mentioned, to be careful not to step on other people's toes, but at the same time to experiment and kind of, have fun with your own IP.
100%. A lot of people spend a lot of money with it. You might as well make them look pretty.
Definitely.
So we have been like pinning the tweets to talk about the journey. From like the planting the seed to packaging, shipping, and delivering to many of the ape holders' hand. And like feel free to check out those kind of tweets back in like September 2022. And like the journey is still continue with upcoming new flavors from Shane. So definitely check it out. The honey is still on sale, limited time. Kudos to Shane for this journey. It's really inspiring. I didn't anticipate so much story goes into it, and then like you really have a lot of learnings from the domain journey and also the BAYC journey until like taking the Koda honey to the new heights. Big kudos to you. We are on the top of the hour. Rocket Flush, do you see any questions from the stage before moving on to DC's kind of MML journey too?
Yeah, I guess ironically, before we get into MML, we actually have a question. What does MML stand for? And so I guess I could answer that because that's a light lift. It's is it a metaverse markup language? Is that right to say?
Yes, 100%.
A lot of people appreciate the story. I think that's like a great angle to take when you're kind of building your brand, to have a story that goes along with it and to give people something to connect with. And just somebody was mentioning that, and not a question, but we really appreciate what you shared with us today, Shane.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I mean, everybody's got a story. Some people have a little bit more because they're a little older. Being in my 50s, I've lived a bunch of lives. I've been Domain Shane, I've been Sugar Shane, I'm Garden Shane. I have lots of different lives, and it's fun to live those lives and share that story and build on it. And so everybody's got that in them. You just need to bring it out and take your time and patience. That's one thing I leave with everybody. Being a plant grower, you plant a tree and it takes me 5 years to get to market. So I learned that you have to literally plant seeds for things to flourish. The crypto world's not great with that. We want everything to move quickly. We want everything to move fast, and there's no patience. And that's something I have, and I think that's to my benefit. So I challenge everybody to develop patience, and when they're building things, it will happen. You just got to stick with it.
Nice. I want to end on a note saying let's fucking go, because that's very inspiring.
Yeah, I want to echo here. This is a really inspiring journey, like for many of the Koda holders, because many of them just like hold, right, and don't find a way. And this is actually allowing us like to see what it takes to build, and a lot of people just see the outcome. Oh, it's so out, right? You have the like the packaging, but it's like you took tons of hard work and years of like network and connections like to get here today. So yeah, again, appreciate you sharing all this great insights, and we would like get another mega thread to talk about that whole journey too later on this week. So yeah, like, let's kind of move on like from this to talk about more about like gaming side of things. So aside from like being a versatile, having a physical appearance as a Koda honey, we also see that Koda is actually a great game characters tier too. Painter Crypto, like all the way from Korea, like they gave us the permission to basically to share this story too. This is like his evil Koda that's in red, and and then he also is a great kind of creators of for creatives and art, and this is like another human body that he drew. So yeah, like have a what if he puts like Koda, evil Koda, and plus the human body, what we become? And this is the evolution. So it's this demon that is shown like after like human body kind of absorbs the evil Koda spirit, and a demon is spawned.
I just want to add on, like, I think this is like another angle of, customizing your PFP. And so what Painter did here is, take two different elements and create a completely new character.
And this is a list of accessories in the game. So he has like hoodies, headphone, jackets, and armor, and each one is very unique, right? So like by combining together with the Koda that in the game, what would happen? And see, wow, this is going to be a super powerful playable avatar in the game. So you can imagine this is not just like kind of a drawing, but it can be potentially like happening on the other side too. So a baked like hammer, and also a personalized like hoodie with all this amazing gear. It's like seems to be super powerful. Like evil Koda. It's like Hellboy 2.0, but for the metaverse.
I think this is like a great example of like, how he picks up all these items could be an example of other builders. So maybe, someone makes the headphones, someone else makes the hoodie. And so all these items that you earn in the digital world follow your character. And, just like Directive was mentioning earlier, his avatars go everywhere. And so with this model, we kind of see like the interoperability of the future being like, you pick up an item from this game, you go to the next game, and your character is persistent in each universe.
Yeah, so I did some pinned the tweet too. So if you want to take a look, the original tweets made by Crypto Painter, and that's the Kaibi's drawing. So moving on, let's take a step back. We can apply other PV collections into the game. So yeah, this is kind of imaginations. Like like we have the Koda, but what if we can defeat different characters in different collections, and then do another set of evolution or get creative items from here? So yeah, like from here, we are able to win these different collectibles. Like from the karate kind of sets, kind of gear. And and then like when the demon evil Koda evolution plus all these kind of items together, we get like new sets of variables, right? That is gonna be made the characters more powerful.
I just want to say good luck defeating my cool cat, because my armor gives plus 20 defense, guys.
Yeah, cool cats are powerful too. So the benefits here is that we see after integration, the Koda in the journey, and this creates this network effect. It attracts like the Yugaverse audience to play the game, and also it will help us to expand this interoperable storytelling by bridging and bringing different characters into the wider Yugaverse. A good example is that you can see the tweets, right, in terms of engagement, right? We can see there's a lot of retweets and likes, right, from the original tweets too. So this is, again, a very good signal, right, to see people have a strong interest to play the game. And in fact, Painter Crypto, like his like recent game, Token Fighter, is featured and made by Apes traders a few days ago. So this is a big recognition from Yuga on the work that he's been doing. And this is from Seneca. Seneca said that when you own a physical of an NFT, you are far less likely to sell the digital version. And Seneca is like very reputable individual in the space, and and this is like another good example of what a heavy metal looks like in physical world. So Ben from Yuga Labs is showing us how he took his heavy metals 661s to real life, and this looks stunning. And you can see him proudly flexing not just his forge, but he's flexing his toy in front of the screen here. So it's pretty impressive that both Spencer and him actually get to create collectibles in the physical form and showcase that. And this does not just apply to heavy too. And recently we have seen the checks with edition 14324 also being shown in the video by Jack here on how that checked sheet is created, and it will be sent, delivered to the holders of the checks. And this gives another two sets of benefits, which having the game characters with a story-driven journey is enabling physical toys collectible, limited edition, to be able to get more mass appeal. And then so we also see all this sales could happens in 8.2. So this is creating more use cases for 8.0. And just a few days ago, before we made this deck, surprisingly, Yuga drops this big news made by Apes, featuring 10 brands here, like Storyverse, Ape Managers, Primates, Mutant Grapes, and Boring Brew. So all this good example. And just yesterday, I just found out, Hero actually struck a partnership with Walmart. So that T-shirt, I thought it's have a easy life, but no, actually getting a partnership with Walmart is a big deal. And I think only a few have Snoop Dogg, right? And also one of the other brands, it's kind of suitcase, made to Walmart. So kudos to many of the IP innovators out there, and getting the features made by Apes from Yuga. And there's a video. I know, we can play a bit, but it's going to be on-chain verification. They are launching later in the month. Gaga has spilled the beans here. So what it means is there's going to be a protocol called Sassy Labs that every single IP holders that using BAYC, right, is going to get official license number to verify themselves as the official made by Apes, have a business owners or IP owners. So that way that we get to verify and we get to collaborate in the ecosystem in a more of a transparent and fair manner. And so this is a great initiative by Yuga's team, and it's doubling down on the IP initiative. So kind of summarize what we have to kind of talk about is, and in the previous session we kind of have 3 questions, right? What are the scenarios that we can use to verify IP, and what are the use cases? And today we got to see Shing's story, and he also shared us with some numbers too, right? And how much is he is able to earn from the Koda journey. It's impressive to see that happen.
I just wanted to add again, because I know we kind of progressed into the stream a bit. if anyone is kind of looking for more of a visual, we actually pinned one of the first pins is a link to our YouTube stream. And so as we kind of go through this, we're getting closer to the end and we have a quiz. So if you want to participate to win some prizes at the end, be sure to join the live stream.
So I have pinned this again on the tweets, so you can pin different tweets to get it to be #1 position too. But yeah, like anyone can like go to the live streams and look at the slides that we're presenting here. So yeah, like those are the few questions that we have before we started this kind of IP journey sessions, and yeah, we get to learn about use case from Shane about the B house, and then also right, the revenue opportunities here too. So not only that, you can earn through playing the heavy metals and Doogie Dash, but you also can earn through expanding the IP too. So next, we're going to give the stage to Directive Creator. Yeah, like Directive Creator has been the pioneer, right, in terms of utilizing MML, Metaverse Markup Language, like from the M2, which is the tech providers of Otherside. So yeah, like we have shared like his day-to-day journey in terms of from a newbie to mastering the skill sets. So here we would love to hear from him on how like he started the journey and where he is now.
Hey, yeah. So I mean, it's great to hear all these stories that we just heard from Shane as well. For me, the biggest thing is that I think I mentioned it in the beginning as well, that NFTs should be able to fluidly and dynamically move between the different things that we do. So in the case with Grills Gang, you can use Grills in Pixels and you can play around there. You can go play the games in World Wide Web. You can go load it into M2 and the M2 metaverses and use it to experiment with MML. And basically, the goal is that you can use the IP, but also just the NFT that you have in all these different places. And the same counts for Bored Apes, the same counts for Kodas and any other projects as well. I think that's going to be super, super important that we are working together and not against each other. And I think you will see a lot of crossover there coming up in the future. And I'm not just talking about like metaverses. It is also being able to use your grills or using your NFT in apps and tools, Web3 tools that get created. Grills has a partnership with Hodl Perks where you can get like even the honey that we just talked about. You can go get a 10% off of the honey because I talked to Shane and said, hey, can we do that? Then we work with Hodl Perks, and now everybody can go and claim that and get that very, very easy. And I think that's the part that is so important, the ability to utilize the NFTs, whether that's for art, whether that's for utility, whether that's to get a discount, whether that's to get access and ticketing to different pieces. One thing that I can tell here that is not officially announced yet, but we have spoken about it in other Twitter spaces already. The grills also have a OG badge. It was a badge that was created in the Discord when we were basically waiting in 2021 to mint grills. We had to wait a little bit longer because we did a partnership with Gary Vee, and we started as a pre-launch partner with Gary Vee. And because we had to wait, we decided to create a completely free NFT for people that were in the Discord that were familiar with grills, that were kind of waiting for us to mint. And that free badge, there's 555 of them. We recently announced, and as I said, it's not officially announced yet. That badge gives you access to if you look at the bottom right in the sheet here, it gives you access to the Dre's nightclub. So all the hip hop concerts with Wiz Khalifa, with Gucci Mane, 2 Chainz, you can go and enter for free just because you have that NFT. But that's the cool part of being able to continue to link things and create things, whether that is digital signage, whether that is entry. And I think that's what's so cool. The same goes for your Koda and your Bored Apes. Yes, of course, price goes up, price goes down. But the cool part is that you're part of this community, you're part of this journey that doesn't really stop. There's always cool new things coming. There's always cool partnerships, IP partnerships, and I think that's just so fun. Like for me as well, like when you talk about the Bored Ape having a partnership with Walmart, like it's really fun to be able to walk into the Target and Walmart and see someone else's Bored Ape on like a toy or on a shirt. It really shows what the capabilities are, and what I really hope to see in the next year and the upcoming year is more partnerships between the different projects as well. And I think you're going to see that a lot more. And I know that Meta Passion here, for example, is a big fan of Memeland. Memeland has their dynamic trades. You're going to see crossover there where other projects will be able to bring in trades and different things into the NFT. And then the same goes for Otherside and MML and the metaverse. You will see all these different projects coming in. But the really, really important part is anything that gets created and anything that's being built is being able to be shared with others. So I made a billboard in the metaverse, right? And that billboard can load all the different NFTs and it can just show, but it was more of a proof of concept. It's just to like, look, you can copy these things over and actually be able to do some dynamic things that you might not be able to do in the real world that you can do in the metaverse. And the code and the stuff behind that, you can do that for any project. Like it doesn't have to be Grills Gang. It doesn't have to be Bored Apes. Any other project can use that same code and being able to utilize that and build upon that. And I think that's going to be very, very important that we look beyond like, this is the Bored Apes or the CryptoPunks are at the top in volume and floor price today or this week. But we look at how can you utilize these different pieces and how can you combine these things to really benefit. And that is a whole different kind of value, I think. And that's what I've been trying to preach basically. And when it comes to Grills, it was created as a supportive sidekick. We had amazing drops with Grills with artists. We had 6 and 5, Young and Sick, Alexis Christodoulou. Like all of those artists, they dropped their work for free. Like any Grills like was able to have a chance to get those pieces. And we did that because I helped them a little bit with maybe a smart contract or maybe their tools and tech that they need. And in return, they don't pay me, they help the community and help the Grills community. And I think if we could all do that a little bit more often, then I think there's going to be a lot less FUD and stuff on the timeline, and we can actually enjoy the different pieces that are getting created. Because I know that there's a lot of different things that are being tried out, and some people don't like it, and then they like just FUD it, and they're basically saying like, well, why are we doing this? This is stupid. This is gonna crash the floor price. But what I really want to see happen is just like kind of building out in the open, building transparently. Like we can create new things, we can try new tools, we can try different ways of using your NFT, and not everything is gonna work. Some stuff is gonna fail, and it's not gonna work, and that's completely fine as well. You learn from that, and then you can build on top of that. And I think we really need to make sure that we focus on like pushing the people up that are trying to build new stuff, because those things that are being built, they could affect not just their project, it could affect all projects going on in the future. And I think that's what's super important. So that's what I've been trying to do. that's why you see me play around in MML and stuff like that, because some of those elements I think are going to play a really big role in the future. And I think it is always nice, of course, to be early on that and start exploring, literally explore what's possible and what you can break and what you can do with those tools.
All
And
right,
talking about
on the
exploring,
oh,
yeah,
go
I
ahead.
would love to take a look at how you explore like metaverse markup language like development from day one. So here, right, we see from day one you're learning right MML day one multiplayer piano right with extra great sound quality right back in June 15, and then in day two, right, you basically took that lessons and then start applying right to the M square construct already. And you can press a key and then they made the whole word disappear. That's yeah, like amazing that you can do this so quickly in a day. And then by day three, we can see that yeah, you are like taking the pianos like to a new heights, which is like yeah, applying this like to like kind of glue scheme like characters in it too. And then we also see it's so funny that yeah, like yeah, M2 they changed it to yeah kind of to be reference to you, right? And day three of learning MML, right? And yeah, that's like amazing because they recognize your work, right? You're the most active person, and then by day four, right, and you can build a live show and bring back the drop punk, right? So there are different like dates, tiers that you have been like building, right? Walkie Flash want to comment on this too? Like it's like fascinating to see such quick speeds of innovation.
Yeah, I think, like it's so awesome that you're experimenting and building and I think your tweets are hilarious. Like on day two, you said, hey, you press this key and it breaks the whole world. But it just shows that, you're really pushing the boundary, you're really trying to learn. And, at the same time, you had that yeah, a light show to the music of Daft Punk. And I think that's just like a great example of if you can dream it, you can build it. And so we all have imaginations and we all have kind of like our own unique way of thinking. And you can't really see someone's thoughts. So how can you convey your thoughts, but to literally build them? And like, I don't think anywhere else could you see a giant grills game like I have on the slide that you did in day four. And it's really awesome to see like into your mind and how you picture this. And MML is really just a way to express yourself and build what you think is cool. And if others enjoy it, they can actually come into your dream world and participate. And I think that's really fun.
I think it's also important to mention that it's not just like, of course, it's just me being creative and trying funny things and trying different things. But what's very, very important, and then this counts for NFT projects as well. All of the stuff that we do is built on the foundations of other work, right? On other stuff. So it's because of M Squared, they create MML, which is like a theoretical, basically new language where you can build stuff in the metaverse. It's a metaverse markup language. It's kind of like HTML when you build websites. Now you can do that in the metaverse. And there's a lot of ifs and buts, and there's a lot of different things that crash and don't really work. But this is version 0001 basically, and everybody's creating these different pieces, these different things. But I would love to like recognize that it is because of people like that, people that are building in the open, but also sharing the tools, sharing open source, that we are here. The fact that we can build NFT projects because of what is happening with the smart contracts, the tools that get created, and they get better every single time. Like I remember in 2021, gas wars and all that stuff was basically a regular thing, but there other projects and other people created tools to avoid that are now being used for any other project and any other thing that gets created. And I think that's very, very important to realize. Like the same with Otherside, even Otherside is heavily based on the work that M Squared is doing, the MML, and of course, if you then learn a little bit more about how this works and how the idea of it works, then that sets you up for the future as well. That sets you up to make sure that once there is tools for Otherside to build and create, they probably will be a little bit easier to understand because you know the basics, you know the foundation that goes behind it. And yeah, I just wanted to share that. Like I couldn't have done anything that I've done without all these amazing people around me creating really, really cool shit and really, really cool stuff. And I'm just basically, I like to kind of beta test and break stuff and click all the buttons. And that counts for the metaverse, but it also counts for all the different apps and Web3 creations that get done. I like to try to see like, okay, what goes behind the scenes. And that's where like the creativity stems from, trying to see what you can do and how you can push things to the limit. Like even with the heavy metal game, we put Grillzilla, which is our like Grill's mascot, inside of the Forge game. And we did that because I literally just looked at the code, replaced some images, and then we had Grillzilla in there, we had Kevin in there. But those things are just fun to kind of see what goes on behind the scenes and what you can build on top of other stuff. So we will share a lot more like source material and code material ourselves as well. And the cool part is you can actually tie that to the IP and to the NFTs as well. So with Grills, there are 3D models, so you will be able to have your own 3D model for your grills. You will have your pixel version, you have your 2D version, your illustrated version. There will be all these different bits and pieces that you can then utilize. And that's why I like Tastemakers as well. Like we get to learn about that. We get to educate and get to really, really show the different things that are possible, because someone can take a look at this and be like, you know what? Let me go try the metaverse. Let me go try pixels. Let me go try this different thing. And you should try to do the things that you enjoy, whether that is making a business or whether that is playing games or whether that is building really, really cool stuff. It's up to you. And there's so much opportunity out there. So I definitely recommend to go try that.
I think that's like a great takeaway in like, I think that works from any example is it just takes initiative. And, you know, whether you know what you're doing or not, you know, taking that first step in sharing it with others. And like, I think like on the slide right now, we have a quote that you kind of said, and you said, surround yourself with friends that will help you grow. And the only way to do that is kind of like, you know, build in the public, share with others that have similar interests, and you inspire each other. And so just like you mentioned, you know, you are building on the foundation of what others have created. And from there, others can build on top of you. And that's kind of, you know, the sky's the limit when we do that model and when we work together. And, you know, you may not have all the ideas and all the keys, but if, you know, if you're sharing in this group, we can really make so much. And there's so much power in community, I would say. And yeah, I think that's a great takeaway. And I think it's awesome that, you know, everything that you're doing, you're sharing publicly. And so it, you know, it gives that awareness. You're not in the dark. People know who you are. And that's how you know, kind of build those relationships and get those opportunities.
Yeah, this is where we see the ML development. I enter the next phase. Yeah, you got to play the puzzle games, and we just like pin all the tweets here, like from day 1 to day 7. Right? I think it's so interesting to see. Like this is a piano of day 1 to day 2. You can take it from what you see in the like JavaScript and actually put it into the construct already. And by the time that it's like day 7, you get to play the puzzles game, and yeah, those puzzle games look super simple to make, but it's like easy ways to get the community engaged, right, in the metaverse. So instead of imagining in the future, instead of listening to a space, but you can enter the metaverse to play interactive games and also using the favorite characters of yours as an identity. I think that would bring a lot of conversation and also social elements here too. So those dancing scenarios and also having cool skating flying on the sky are just like fascinating to see in the metaverse.
Yeah, and I definitely recommend anybody to come try it out as well. I think another big thing is that not everybody is aware of all the different tools that are out there. So go try out. The construct is something that is live and everybody can jump in and try, and you do not have to be an expert in coding or whatever to literally just go click some buttons and try to see what happens and explore. And the same goes for the pixels and World Wide Web. Just jump in and go try it, and maybe you like it, maybe you don't, which is completely fine as well. And I think it's to me, it's funny to see that you have like the first strip and you have these metaverse activations where there is thousands and thousands of people waiting in line to get in, and then when you jump into construct, there may be like a group of 4 or 5 people walking around, not realizing that this is like the groundwork, the foundation of those different experiences. Like there's portals now that are being created, wallet connections, and I just jumped in the space yesterday, and they're doing this like kind of reward-based system now where you can build, whoever can build the best metaverse maze, get some prizes. Of course, I gave some grills there away as well for whoever we can do that, but that's part of the fun. Like, definitely go check out those things. Like, go jump into Construct, go jump in World Wide Web, go jump in Pixels, and try out the different tools and try to see what you enjoy and what you like and build on top of that. There's people in the grills community that play Pixels all day long, and they farm and they get all kinds of cool stuff, and I don't even have the time to do that. So they tell me like, hey, I'm using my grills to go do this, and I've played this game. Did you try that yet? And I haven't even tried it, which is something that is super, super cool. Like, you can put something out there in the world, and then it just evolves and different things get created as well. And I hope to do the same when it comes to MML and the metaverse. I hope to like share those pieces so that other people can build on top of that, create stuff, and most importantly, just have a little fun, right? Have fun with the stuff that you have. You have your cool cat, or you have your Koda, or you have your Bored Ape, or you have your grills. Like, be able to have fun with it. Be able to not just see it as an investment, but actually go and see, like, what can I do? What can I experience with all these different things? And you'll be surprised, like, how many things. Like, I'm overwhelmed by how many things I can do with all the NFTs that I have. And that's a lot of fun. Like Shane mentioned as well, that itself is a game. Being able to build businesses from it, being able to create things, being able to utilize different things in different spaces. That is something that I still think is very underlooked, undervalued, and I think more people should take a look at that.
Yeah, I think one of my takeaway is being the pioneer, being the first to try these things out. You also get a recognition too. So I also pinned some tweets here where Herman's actually mentioned you not one time, but like 3 times, right? In like several different days, and to recognize your work, and by retweeting and also, sharing the same kind of sentiments, right? Too. So this means that your work is being valued, and that is like big props, right? And we also see, like, by doing all this, and Grill's games sales also went up too in OpenSea. So that's another ways that actually you can expand a new audience, right, by introducing like the PFP into the metaverse. And when people see it and they find it interesting, and they would like purchase it. So I would say those are the kind of like big like moments, and rather than just like building and having fun, but like there's also like rewards that you're also getting too, and this rewarding experience that we get to see both the founders and also the community recognize that.
Definitely, and I think it's also just fun to being able to see that shared. Even, I mean, like I said, I do a lot of like silly experiments and silly jokes and things like that, but it all has to do with just like kind of proof of concept, right? Try out things, break things, crash the construct a lot of times, and but it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to try out those things, and I think looking at it from that perspective is also a lot more fun than being upset by something that breaks, right? Like if you're playing the Forge and then they go offline and things like that. I see them, people get upset, but like I think it is a lot more fun if you just enjoy it for what it is, enjoy it for an experience that might break and that might behave unexpected, and sometimes it can be really, really funny. And I mean, yeah, like try to see it more from that perspective. I think that helps, and that being shared by other people, of course, that helps as well, because then it brings more people to go and try that, that are even like that have amazing talents that they can utilize in that space.
I actually have a specific question like for you. Like out of the 17-day journey, you have built numerous of like puzzle games and experiences. And which one do you find is going to be sustainable, and then the people will play from time to time, so we can get to see if people like start building those, and that will be the direction. So you have done so many days and you have done so many experience. And I think it's good to maybe share to save some opportunity calls from others, like starting from day one. Like what kind of experience or games would you recommend others to start building and trying it out?
Yeah, sure. So one thing that I started doing is I basically to look at the documentation and look at the examples that are out there, and then build on top of that. That's why you saw me build like the piano, for example, first, because that's literally the first thing that is in the documentation is M audio, because it's alphabetical, right? MA. So I looked at that and kind of used the building process and creating like things to learn how the different pieces of MML work. The thing that I enjoyed most, and you see that utilized a couple times, is I wrote a little script that is able to take the IPFS data from different projects and being able to load that in the metaverse. So you saw that on a billboard where it slides through all the 5,000 grills or 10,000 Bored Apes. It can actually scroll indefinitely and just load those images in the metaverse. The other thing that I did was the memory game, and that was actually really fun, because once I got that game to work, then it was actually also just fun to play, right? It was fun to do, and you were able, because in a lot of NFT projects, some of the NFTs kind of look a little bit similar, and being able to play a memory game with that is surprisingly fun to being able to like memorize and just play that. It's a very, very quick, very chill, very relaxing type of game. But I was looking at that, building that in MML, and then I was like, you know what, I should probably also make like a little web version of this so that anybody can play. They can put, I don't know, they can put in their the OpenSea URL or the project URL in, and then they can just play it, but with their project and with their community, and they can just have fun with it. And I think that I will expand on a little bit later, because it's just a lot of fun. But then we also, I think the day after the memory game, Azuki created their elementals, and everybody was having fun with the fact that they look so similar. So I created a quick little game where you had to say if this was an Azuki or an elemental, which was kind of like a like a meme, right? But it was like another like example of just trying out things, and of course having a little bit of fun, tongue-in-cheek, sarcastic humor with that is always a lot of fun. So yeah, I would say bringing in other communities and bringing in other NFT data, that's what's going to be very important. There is no wallet connection yet in the construct, but I know that that's what's coming. So that will open up the door to a lot of different things as well. And then you saw the last thing with like shooting the grills. There is no collision detection and things like that in there yet, but it's coming. And so I'm also always trying to kind of predict, like, okay, how would this work if it was in there? So then, besides the stuff that you see visually and the jokes and the things that you see on my Twitter feed, I'm actually also submitting ideas in GitHub and the code, and basically saying, hey, if we add this functionality to the code, it opens the doors for a lot more people and a lot more things to happen. Because another big thing when it comes to the metaverse, when it comes to NFTs, what is also very, very important is that the usability, not only being able to have your projects being able to be used in different spaces, but also making it easy to jump in. And that's what's so cool with Otherside and MML. Anybody with a browser or even on their phone can jump into that metaverse, and all they have to press is one button and then they can start playing. And I think that's going to be very, very important for NFTs and Web3 in general as well. The usability of things, and that goes a long way, right? That goes from being able to jump in without any issues, but it also has to do with the user interface and things like that. So that would be my biggest takeaway, is making it easy for people to have fun, being able to experiment with things. We know that the Apple Vision Pro headset is coming. I can't wait for the first MML experiments in there as well, being able to take the stuff that you see here, the giant grills and all the fun stuff, but now being able to have that floating in your home and floating in your office space. That's going to be hilarious and going to be really, really fun. And a lot of that stuff is going to break and it's not going to work great and it's going to look goofy, but that's kind of part of the charm of it. It's part of the fun in experimenting. I mean, if all experiments would always go great, it wouldn't be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like that. Yeah, having fun first, and then as the initiative, and then you get to explore different things and breaking things, and then and then you get to innovate, and that's like how pioneers kind of started their journey. So yeah, and I think this is one of our takeaway from both Shane and also DC, you too, is that both you have something in common. Not only that you have Bored Apes, right, supporting, but also, right, the consistency. That you guys are very patient and loving to explore, right? If you see something that like exciting, interesting, right, you actually would like to become curious and learn more about it. So persistence really is the key that unlocks the door to opportunities, and find different opportunities that for service for Shane, for the B House, and also for you too, like for Goose Games and like many of the MML departments, and also like that you guys are building in the public. The journey like cannot be like have a shown here in the slide today without you like presenting this like on Twitter, like from like day 1 to day 17, and for Shane is back in like September, and I'm just so glad that you guys got to work together too. Before I was thinking, it must be just separate, right? And you told me that this is kind of a B House collaboration happening with Goose Gang and Randy, and there's a 10% off for buying the Koda honey. So yeah, that's super exciting too to learn more about. I think smart minds the kind of thing alike. So like many of the circle, as you surround yourself with like people who are the advocates, right, of BYC, Koda, and also builders. And naturally, right, it just go hand in hand. You get to work together. So yeah, like that's my the biggest takeaway. Yeah, working Flush. Do you want to share some of your takeaway too in these collaborations, and also yeah, like in this learning too, like from what DC has shared.
Yeah, like my biggest takeaway is, whether you feel like you're qualified or not to do something, just go for it. And honestly, like there's a lot of stuff in life that we look at and we're like, oh, that's not me. I could never do that. But I think like what Directive Creator was really getting through is that, whether you're confident you can do it or not, why not try it? And the same with, with Shane and Bee House Honey, you just taking that leap of faith and just going for it. And if it doesn't work out for you, fine, find something else, move on to the next thing. But the only way you're ever going to find traction in something is just by going for it. And then another takeaway is share everything you do. I think one of the biggest utilities and benefits of Web3, being in the community. And so we have really strong community here, especially within the BAYC ecosystem, but just in general, no matter what PFP you hold, I think like sharing your journey, and then that way others can support you. And to go along with that, support others. And when we work together, when we build together, it's 10 times better. Can you imagine if, Directive or Shane didn't share anything? And so, what's their product market fit? How do they find out what gets the most traction unless they are sharing in public, unless they're looking at all these case studies? And I think like the greatest reference that we have that, Forge can provide is the IP map. And if you look at the IP map, that features, 300 plus builders who are building on their IP. And these two guys are definitely on that list. And there's so many more cool builders, and we all kind of take our own angle. But I think just in general, sharing in public, and Harry even mentioned, if they hadn't been sharing all this building in public, we wouldn't have any slides today. And that just goes to show how powerful it is to kind of share your own journey, and how important it is, because it's not in real life. You can't just put a sign on your door. You actually have to type something up, go on Twitter, go on Threads, and share this information, and build community in the public.
I want to share one more thing. I think Shane's gone, but I pinned the tweets here, like the latest tweet. Like he was pretty upset. So after like maybe Abe didn't include him in the first 10. And then yeah, like he's like kind of shared negative sentiments, but like from the comments, everyone's like come to his post, like encouraging him. Like we love to reorder the honey. We love what you build. It's the best thing that they have ordered. And all of a sudden, he just felt, wow, actually getting so much support. Right? He said, never like have anticipated so much support going to him. And he made this post 1 day ago. Really, is a half filled message, right? To me personally, and also for the things that we have done too. And you can see the post, right? There's over 100 likes, and so many people comment below. Yeah, he's sharing. Yeah, last night was acting childish by being upset that wasn't part of the founding groups. Then yeah, Harry, I pointed out it doesn't matter. I made my apes and Koda IP work for me way before they were choose to help you get the most out of the IP. I apologize for adding childish. I wasn't included. And yeah, like now if I could just make enough to stay money to sell into this fanfare. So he introduced, he said, honey too. And then like if you go to one of the between tweet number 2 and number 3, right? He basically pick up the business and started again for this season. So it shows like have a back on with yeah the Koda honey, and like people can start right ordering. So it just shows that the power of the community. That all of us are coming together to collaborate and support each other. And yeah, if you have things that you're working behind the scene, it's like actually better for you to share this and get critical feedback for you to get a lot of support. And especially in the referee space, referee IP, there's no winner takes all. It's winner share all. everybody is a winner here when we get to learn and grow together. And yeah, that wraps up basically the tour journey. And yeah, moving on, we actually do have a quiz today. Yeah, and the story continues with the treasure. Yeah, like seek, and yeah, like this is a time like for the quiz. Yeah, this is also this third yeah, heavy hot pots we get to unlock. So like prepare your phone, and like what you want to do is you want to head to our yeah, live streams, and yeah, like basically get the QR code to enter and to participate, and you will get a chance to win the 8 coins, $150 worth of 8 coins, and 8 coin just jumped 5% thanks to SEC ruling SRP, not the security. So I just pinned main tweet here. So you get to click and start, and yeah, feel free to enter if you are not in front of I would say the YouTube here. You can also enter Kahoot.it, but still you need to be in the live stream in order to play. But yeah, like Walking Fast, stage is yours.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and give a moment here. I know we got about 30 people all together, so Harry pinned on the top tweet there. If you guys want to kind of jump over to our YouTube live stream, we are going to do a quiz, and so the quiz is just kind of recapping some of the stuff we talked about today, and there's $50 in it if you get top 3. So some free ape coin. With the prices jumping, I think it's going to be more than just pizza money now. I think that ape coin holds some value, so if you want to hold on to that or buy pizza on us, up to you. Go ahead and give another minute. I see we got about 6 people so far. Looks like no one's going for that pizza money yet, but again, just join us on the live stream, guys. We have a code. You just scan a little QR, and it's going to be like a visual quiz. So the questions will pop up on the screen, and you literally just pick one of 4 answers, and you get an opportunity to win some ape coin. So pretty light lift. If you've been in the space even for a couple minutes, you have a great chance. I think in the past we've had a few users that just went for it. They weren't even on the whole stream, and they got $50 worth of ape coins. So definitely worth it. Shout out to Paraspace for sponsoring the prize today. Yeah, so I give it maybe one more minute. I know quite a few of you guys joined. If you're in the Twitter spaces and you're having issues, just go ahead and ask a question or let us know that you're still trying to join so we don't close the window on you. And yeah, great point. MetaPassion in the comments said, hey, if you could kindly use your Twitter name. I know some of you guys, I see T. I'm not sure who that is. Is that Blue? Is that Blue that put T? Okay. We got Crypto Luck 35. Nice. Let's go. Let's see who. I'm going to name some of the people in the chat or in the game so far. We got Crypto Luck. Looks like Harry's in it. Looks like Harry's trying to hold on to that prize. We got G is us. We got, I'm just going to say Ush. We got Toll. Man, you guys got very creative names. I'm not sure I can pronounce all of them. I'm going to say maybe another 30 seconds if anyone's looking to join. If you're stuck in the Twitter spaces, maybe even put like an emoji or something so I can see. Maybe put like a wave so I know that you're trying to join, but you haven't gone in yet. Looks like, how many people do we got? We got quite a few people, but not everyone. So this is a last call. If you're looking to join us on the Kahoot to win some ape coin, you're going to give it another 30 seconds from now. So let's see. No one's saying nothing. No one's saying nothing. We got Mark Lar, G is us, AK. Oh, looks like someone left and they came right back. Let's go. Put that Twitter handle so we could get you a prize. All right. We're getting there. Last 10 seconds. Anyone else? Anyone coming in? Last call. All right. We got 14 people, so I'm going to go ahead and go forward. Good luck to anyone who participates. All you have to do is scan that QR. All right. I'm going to go ahead and go forward. So let's go. All right. 14 people. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. No one said anything. This is it. Closing the window. All right. Let's go, guys. I'll read the questions to kind of help. I know it's timed. The sooner you answer, the more points you're going to get. So don't wait for me to finish. Who was our guest speaker today? So we actually have 4 answers. Was it Meta Passion? Was it Machi? Was it Grills Gang? Or was it Directive Creator? Who was one of our guest speakers today? Was it Machi sweeping the floor? Good answer. Did Meta Passion answer Meta Passion? Who put Meta Passion? All right. So every question that we kind of go through, we'll have like a little mini leaderboard here to kind of see where you stand. So far, it looks like Frosty's is sitting at the top. But honestly, from question to question, it's anyone's game. Like I mentioned, the sooner you answer, the more likely you are to get a higher score. So question 2 of 14. What was today's session about? So this was our 3rd session about, with Otherside Wiki. And so, what was it about? Was it about analytics tools today? Did we talk about ApeCoin? Did we talk about IP? Did we talk about all 3 of those things? What was the session about today, guys? What was your takeaway? Nice. Let's go. Harry's holding on to that ApeCoin. But it definitely looks like Meta Passion wants some of the action too. So let's go. All right, go to the next one. Who won the quiz in our last workshop? Ooh. Who took away the first prize? Who was number 1? Was it Meta Passion? Was it a Sharp Ape? Was it Croc77? Did all 3 of these people win? I know there's a top 3, so 3 people have the opportunity to take away $50 worth of ApeCoin today. Nice. It actually was everyone. So we hyped you up by talking about Meta Passion, but he was only in first place out of 3. So nice. Frosty's is paying attention. And then we got, sorry if I pronounce it wrong, Radon Official coming in hot. You see that little flame? That means he's coming in hot. Who had the highest score? So depending what you answered last time, who had the highest score out of these 3? I might have even said the answer. Was it Croc? Was it A Sharp? Was it China? Or was it Meta Passion? Who got the highest score in our last workshop? Nice. I feel like I might have said the answer, but kudos to everyone who got it. Look at that. First place. I told you we're heating up here, but it looks like Meta Passion is not giving up. Meta Passion remembers last time. Meta Passion knows some of these answers. Okay, 5 of 14. We still have a lot of opportunities to get first place, so don't give up. Which IP did we feature today? Was it Grills Gang? Was it Crypto Painter's Koda? Was it Frosty's Koda? Was it B House's Koda? So this is a multi-select. So you could select 1, you could select 3, you could select all of them. But which IPs did we specifically feature today? Nice. Congrats. Technically not Frosty's. I know he's part of the presentation, but we did not actually talk about Frosty. But Frosty's talking about getting pizza tonight on us. $50 worth of ApeCoin for first, second, and third place. So let's go. Where is Directive Creator building on? So what platform? Is this the Otherside SDK? Did he get an early access to that? Is this M2? Is this Crafty's adventure exploring the other side, or is this kind of like an early Legend of the Mara build? It's definitely Legend of the Mara. Ooh, it's not. I'm sorry for the one person I tricked. It is M2. All right, let's go. Who's up? Whoa, Meta Passion. Let's go. It looks like AK's heating up down here, but Frosty's, he doesn't have dinner planned, so he needs to take this home. Let's go. Question 7. Can you build on M squared today? So yeah, is it limited beta? Maybe you can build. I'm not really sure. Yes, no. Can you build on M squared today? Should you take that first step today and build something cool and share it in the public and tweet about it? Nice. Let's go. I like the variety of answers. We kind of touched up on all of them, but the only right one was yes. Dang, Meta Passion. But hey, guys, don't be discouraged. There's still quite a few more questions. But yeah, let's see what's next. Let's go. Question 8. What is the second IP use case presented? So is this image familiar? Is that a Grills Gang? Is that Hellboy? This must be Hellboy 4. Is it Crypto Painter's work? Or is this a generic gaming? All right. What is the use case for this IP, guys and girls, and everyone in the audience? It is gaming. So the use case, what would you use this for, is gaming. Trick question. Who did we get up there? Whoa, Harry. We did not trick Harry. But I think Harry is a little close to the presentation. But come on, guys. We need to knock out Frosties and Harry. Take away the prize. All right, multi-option. So you can select multiples of these. What are the benefits of Koda IP use cases? Is it physical toy collectibles? Is it interoperable storytelling? Is it the network effects on Koda IP? Or is it none of these things? Are we trying to trick you guys again? Multi-choice. So you can select multiple. What is the benefits of Koda IP use cases? Nice. Okay. Only one of you fell for the none of above. Frosty said he's not giving up the prize. I'm just kidding, Frosty. All right, let's go. Oh, Frosty's through the leaderboard. What the? Looks like it's anyone's game now. It looks like Harry and Frosty's are out of it. I shouldn't have said anything, but maybe that's better for you guys. Looks like Mark Clar is heating up, so let's go. But honestly, I think Blue TT is going to come in. I don't know, but we'll see. Maybe top 3 are going to hold it. All right, next question. 10 of 14, so be sure to get this one right. How many use cases have we shared today? Did we just share one? Did we not share any? Did we share more than the amounts we're showing? Was it 2? Was it 3? How many case studies did we show today? Let's go. Yeah, we showed 3, but it's not limited to 3. If you look at our IP map, 300 plus people are building, and this is a small fraction of some of the awesome builders out there. Meta Passion in the comments saying it's a trick question, but he's still first place, guys. Don't fall for it. Meta Passion's just trying to psych you guys out. All right, next question. Let's go. Who shared this quote? Oh, I love this. Oh, it's a long one. It all started with the purchase of a monkey picture. Now I'm delivering honey based on my Koda IP using a truck purchase with the sale of 1 ape. You can do anything with luck, creativity, opportunity, and a shit ton of hard work. Who shared this quote? Was it Machi? Nice. It's Shane. Very great quote. Heartwarming story. Love that. Let's go. Damn, Meta Passion. Let's go. But we got Grillzilla. I love that name. Nice. And what did I tell you guys? Blue TT is stealthing in here. We have a few more questions, so don't give up. Stumbling on my words. The faster you guys answer, the more points you're going to get. So if you have a hunch, don't wait for me to finish the question. Okay, question 12 of 14. Who shared this quote? Love the quote ones. Surround yourself with friends that help you grow. This is definitely Machi, right? Or was it Directive Creator? Did Shane say this as well? Or was that what Frosty just said a second ago? Who shared this quote? I think it was Frosty. It was not Frosty. I'm sorry, guys. Don't trust me. It was Directive Creator. And yeah, I think that's a great quote. You know, building on top of your friends, building with your friends. Community is everything. Let's go. AK, let's go. AK is ready to get in the leaderboards. Congrats. Top 3. We have a couple more questions. Looks like Raiden, you still having a chance. And a couple of you other guys, I know you're close. Okay, question 13. What's the biggest takeaway today? Okay, these are long. I'm going to try to read them all. Shane's story shows us Koda IP has a lot of potential. Persistence is the key that unlocks the door to opportunities. Directive Creator showed us it's easy to get started. Just take that first step. Which one of these, or was it all of them? Because all of them is an option. Is it a trick question again? Or is it all of them? Is it one of them? Nice, nice. Kudos. Kudos. Let's go. Let's see who got it. Dang, I did not see that coming, Grills. It looks like we got Meta Passion, AK, and Blue. We got one more question left, so it's anyone's game for third place, to be honest. It's just a couple points away, so don't give up now. Last question. When's the next session? I actually think this might be a trick question. I don't know if we mentioned it, but will it be during Ape Fest? Maybe, maybe not. Is it going to be Monday, the 8th, Thursday, July 20th, or the 27th of July? Or we're going to wait till Ape Fest? Nice, nice, nice. Yep. July 27th. Whoever answered Ape Fest, kudos to you. I'll see you there. We'll do a private one at Ape Fest. Congrats to top 3. We got AK. Second place, Mark Clar. Wow, was that stealth Wayne right there? In first place, who took home first place? Meta Passion. Let's go. I think, honestly, Meta Passion's killing it. So shout out Meta Passion, but also shout out to second and third place because you're all going to get $50 worth of ApeCoin today. So thanks for participating. I want to mention, if you guys had fun doing this, we're going to have another one next week. If you're just trying to get $50, leave your takeaway in a tweet and share it on the Otherside Wiki Discord. And there's another opportunity to win $50 just by kind of sharing your takeaway and putting it into a tweet. So thank you everyone for participating in this one. Had a lot of fun. It's awesome watching the leaderboards. And yeah, thank you everyone. And I'll kind of hand it back over here to Harry on the slides. Q&A. So yeah, drop your questions in the comments. We're happy to answer them. Any questions, concerns, anything, drop us a question, guys.
Yeah, I want to share the second last question. The last question is supposed to be 20th next week, but make it wrong. But I think the position has not changed. But anyway, yeah, congrats to all the winners here. It was like the full house, and to get all the people participate. I think it's super fun, like to just get everyone to play the game and enjoy like what we have learned so far. Like feel free to drop any of the questions that you might have. Like maybe come on stage too if you want to ask any questions. But maybe Directive Creator or Frosty, do you want to have anything to add from this session? Like feel free to share as well.
I currently don't have something to add. It was a great session also for me, so I love the inspiration from the stories of Shane and Director Creative. So I also learned myself this time very much.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And yeah, anybody that has questions, I think maybe also, I don't know if they're allowed to come up in the spaces maybe, or
yeah, just invited Brandon
like,
here to the space. Brandon, feel free to share your take here too.
oh yeah, we see Brandon here. Awesome. Ask away.
Yeah, DC pinged me in the M squared server that you guys were having this space, so I wanted to. He's been doing in M squared and in Construct with MML. As you can see in his timeline, he's got a lot of examples of the things that he's building. And for me, like I'm not a programmer whatsoever. My experiences lie mainly in WordPress websites and InDesign, but it is a user-friendly environment once you get your objects hosted on a website. And from there, you know, I'm literally using ChatGPT to experiment and just try things. And sometimes it takes, you know, several hours just to like make your object do something different. But when it finally does, it's like one of the most incredible experiences personally. M Squared has been doing some activations the past week. They just did one today with Koda, who's a Arsenal football player. And last week was an activation with MLB, and you just get to see like the different platforms that they're experimenting with, and other just partners. You know, it's obviously we're all bullish on Otherside and getting ready for the other side, and what we're gonna do with RIP on that space. But when you look at it like from a greater whole, like this is going to unlock some crazy potential for anybody who's building. And I you know, Herman says it all the time. Like that's going to be a place where monetization can occur. So I just wanted to highlight what Directive's been doing. And Harry, it's nice to meet you. He's been posting some stuff that you guys have been doing, and I gave you guys a follow just now.
Nice. Let's go.
And then everybody went quiet. Thanks for sharing, Brennan. Yeah, and always great to have you in any of the spaces. And yeah, if anybody has any questions, whether it's about IP or metaverses or NFTs or grills or tastemakers, let us know. And yeah,
we also have meta portions in the stage here too. Feel free to share as well, meta portion.
Yes. Thank you, Harry, Rocket Flash, Director, and also Shane for today's session. It's really awesome. I'm very inspired about IP, and I want to really build on my NFT assets. So I have a question, especially for Directive Creator. Just now you mentioned that about Memeland. So it's interesting you know about that. So I can ask this question. Like you know, Memeland is right now building a smart PFP where people can customize it anytime they want. They can take off traits wherever they want. And there will be more traits coming with other partners and other stuff. And Memeland is not the only one. In the past, there are such instances as before. And also right now, Yoga Pets is like a wildfire ecosystem. They are also doing that system for the traits where it's customizable. So about that, maybe we can call it smart PFP. What do you think? How the IP will affect? Because now the NFT is not unique itself. Like people can change it anytime. So in regards to IP, it's a little bit different now compared to what we have in the past. I hope you understand my question.
I think so with Memeland, great example. They're adding smart traits. I think what's important is that smart traits and being able to change traits, being able to change the NFT dynamically isn't necessarily something new. And I think a lot of people kind of like looked past that part and like, well, like how is this any different? And but the big thing there is that it's very much based on the individual traits. So a lot of our NFT projects that we have, they have different traits that make up the look of your PFP or the look of your NFT. I think the traits is going to be something that is going to be very important down the line as well. And I will give you an example using MML, the Metaverse Markup Language. So in MML, you currently cannot import your characters yet. You cannot import your like actual PFP yet in a workable way. You can load it as a model and things like that. But the way it's set up, it is the model and 3D model of your character, but it is also the metadata that comes with that. So the information that is alongside with that. So for example, your Bored Ape has a hat, then it will say in that metaverse your Bored Ape has a hat, and that can be a different item. It can be an actual workable item, so you can take off your hat, put on your hat, stuff like that. You can make them actually have interaction because they are treated as individual different items within the NFT. And that, with Memeland, the fun part there, I think for me personally, I think the fun part there is that everybody is able to create their own traits and their own stuff, and you can sell them, you can trade them. Hopefully you can also create some free ones, and everybody's able to like mix and match those traits. So you have basically infinite possibilities. But the real cool part is also, for example, with us, with the grills, there's a lot of traits that come with your grills. You'll be able to take certain traits and put them on your Memeland avatar as well, on your captains, and being able to transfer between both of them. And I think that's what's really, really cool. The fact that you basically, the same when it comes to MML, you let the creativity run free, and everybody can be creating their own things and selling and trading, sharing stuff. And I think that's what's really, really important. So I recently asked a question on my feed, like, should NFTs be dynamic, or should they be like the metadata be frozen? And it was kind of interesting. The majority of people were saying that it should be either dynamic or it should be a mix of both. But back in 2021, when you would ask that question, everybody would say, no, metadata should be frozen so that you cannot adjust it after the fact. And now it is way more focused on the dynamic nature of things. But the cool part with dynamic is also that you can continue to craft the story and build the story. The NFT stays the same, right? The NFT is the same NFT no matter what you change on the image. And I think that's really cool. You can use it as a storytelling device. You can use it as art that changes over time. I have an art piece by 6 and 5 that actually changes every hour. It's a scene where when it's nighttime, the NFT is also nighttime. When it's daytime, the NFT is also daytime. I created an NFT with Young and Sick and David Bowie, the David Bowie Foundation, and that NFT changes every day. So you get 7 NFTs in one, which is really, really cool. You get like 7 amazing pieces of art, and maybe that will change in the future as well. And I think that's also something that's super, super interesting to explore. And that counts for everything that I try and do. Is experimenting is great, and experimenting is fun, and you should be able to experiment with the actual tokens itself as well. That's why I also like things that are frozen or soulbound and stuff like that. That's also super interesting to me, because there's all these different dynamics of things that you can do with these tokens. And so I hope that answers your question a little bit.
IP. Maybe by giving an example, the question can be more clear. Let's say, for example, a brand decided to partner with to use the IP of a dynamic PFP. But then after a while, that the person who owned the PFP, they decided to change a different trait because it's dynamic. So it's always changing. But those brands or certain people that build that IP, I can see that there might be an issue with people changing it, as well as there will be more similarities because the traits are not really one-on-one. Of course, there is different variety, but it's possible to be very similar if people want to make it that way. So it seems like dynamic PFP will somehow affect the IP play aspect.
I think that worry shouldn't be as much as people think it is, because anything that you do, anything that you change in the on the IP or on the image is something that is also on chain, right? It's you basically building the story of changes. So whenever something changes, that is just part of the journey. It's the same way as if you're a brand and you're partnering with an actor or with, like, they're going to continue wearing different clothes and they're going to do different things and they're going to make different movies and in some cases maybe they do something that you don't like, and then you end that partnership. And I think that kind of works in the same way when it goes of utilizing IP of the NFTs with different brands. Like there was a lot of conversation about that when Gucci came in with the Kodas as well. I have a Koda that I then can put on a shirt and can put on brand, but I also have the Koda pendant. So the Koda pendant is a trait that gets added, and you can see it in OpenSea as well. But I do not own the rights for that the trait, basically. So I cannot put that on a shirt or on a clothing item because that IP belongs to Gucci. But the cool part is that no matter what, you still own your Koda, whether that has an added trait or not. It is still yours, and you own it, and you can do whatever you want with it. And it pushes you to kind of like explore the different borders of what you can do and what you can't do, the legalities of things. So I don't think it's that big of an issue. I do understand why everybody's talking about that now, but I think it's because it's so early, so new, that there's just things that we're not used to yet. But I think we will see a lot more projects use that dynamic nature of things and still be able to differentiate that it's the same token. And that's the cool part. Whether the art gets adjusted or not, the token itself doesn't change. And I know that sometimes it's a little difficult to grasp, but I'm excited to see that exploration. I like what Shane mentioned as well, with the fact that he had like the little joint in the mouth, and he changed it to a twig, and you can still recognize that it's his. He added shoes because he's a runner. I think there's a lot of exploration there, and it's going to be only more once we jump into the metaverse. For example, the Bored Apes and stuff like that, they're going to be 3D in the metaverse, but you still be able to collect items, maybe wear items, and change the way things look, even though the underlying NFT the metadata is frozen, so it won't be able to change, but you will still be able to utilize it in different shapes and forms. And I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
I got some answers, and that's very good insight. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks for your question. I hope that helps clarify. I know there's a lot. The big thing is that there's a lot of possibilities, and I recommend everybody to just explore and try things.
DC and anybody else. So I kind of gave an example of how I've been doing it, but I'm curious, like, what would you recommend somebody who isn't as like technically inclined but might feel like a little bit of courage of experimenting? Like, how would they get started? Like, what's the easiest way for them to just like dip their toes in this?
Their toes in NFTs or in metaverse?
It's weird, MML, yeah.
MML. Okay, yeah. So basically, the first thing I would do is I would check out the construct link and just jump in without even building anything. Just literally just jumping in there and being able to see other creations, test other creations, press buttons and try things that other people have created. That's something that you can do right away. You can do it on your mobile phone, you can do it on your laptop, you can do it on your desktop. It's something that's very, very easy. You just click it, you jump in, and you can start talking and you can start experimenting. Once you've done that, once you've tried that, then maybe you can think like, you know what, I want to actually build stuff myself as well. Then the easiest way is to jump into the M² Discord and just say, hey, I just tested the construct and I really liked this part that Brandon made, and I would like to create something similar. Can someone help me out? Where do I start? And then the community itself can help you be creative. And that's the cool part with metaverse stuff and just in general, like building and creating stuff. The sky is literally the limit. You can build whatever you want. You can create whatever you can come up with. And that could be something that is a tool or an app or a game. It could be a very weird model that you want to load, and you have the capability to just like try whatever you want to do. And those tools are only going to get easier along the way. So yeah, now is a great time to go and start exploring at least and testing things.
Solid advice.
Yeah, like, I think the takeaway here is like try it out, try and never makes you a better builder. And that's like with like each one here. Like no matter if you are a physical collectible, like food and drinks builder or metaverse builder, taking the first step is going to make you be aware like what are the potential challenges, and and this again surround yourself with different builders in Discord, and those give you like immediate answer. And there's a lot of templates you can use too to get started. And yeah, like those kind of templates, I think that's an easier start too. So yeah, like that's the wrap for today. Really appreciate everyone attend today. Next sessions I have same next week, Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you also do the takeaway too. Like tweet about the free takeaway on Twitter, attach your photos, and then share it on the Otherside Wiki. And that's the rule here. Look forward to the next sessions. And really, again, appreciate Perispace for sponsoring this session, and as well as Directive Creator with the Cruise game. Rocket Flash, any last comments?
Yeah, I just wanted to add for the takeaway. So there's actually multiple prizes here. So we're offering a prize for anyone to kind of just give their takeaway of the session. But also, if you mention Grill's Gang or anything you learned about that, there's some extra bonus to that provided by Directive Creator. So yeah, I mean, I think it's super light lift. I think this was a great session. Really appreciate everyone's time today. There's a lot of takeaways, and honestly, personally, I get so inspired every time we talk to builders in the space. And just to echo what everyone's been saying, just take that first step and share what you've been doing, share some of your ideas. I think personally, even stuff I've built in Midjourney people appreciate. And actually, for anyone on the live stream right now, we are doing the same with our own heavy metals. And so we're creating derivative art, we're creating derivative story, and you don't always need to be selling something to be a builder. You just have to be active. And so there's so many different approaches. You can build on your IP and build a business, but also just in general, day to day, there's so many unique ways that you can kind of share and just get engaged with the community. And I think, the most important thing in this space that we have is each other, because we're sharing ideas, we're working together, and the collaborations are awesome. And just growing up, personally, my favorite episodes of shows is when you get one super awesome show and another super awesome show and do a crossover episode. And those are just the most hype, the most interesting things. And, Web3 is the perfect platform for that. And great example, Grills Gang, get a discount and buy some honey from Sean. So, I mean, there's so many different angles, lore, products, and games. And so, yeah, hope to see everyone next time. Don't forget to leave a tweet. It's so easy just to kind of talk about, hey, I liked it. Hey, these are things I want to see for next time. Any kind of feedback is always appreciated and qualifies you. So thank you everyone for coming out. This is a extra long session, but I think it was definitely great. Every moment was very interesting and engaging. So appreciate that.
Making also a thread on this too, to recap everything we have talked about. And in the meantime, feel free to follow Frosty. Otherside Wiki, head to Discord, and then Paris Space, Directive Creators, and it's all the co-hosts here and the speaker here. Wish everyone has an awesome day, and look forward to the next sessions.
Let's go.
Thanks so much for everybody joining. And yeah, if you have any other questions, feel free to hit me up on Twitter as well. No problem.
Yeah, if you're looking for new friends, feel free to add any of us. If you like cool cats, for sure, throw a friend request.
Thank you for the session.
So we just added a space. Okay, we can end here too.